Hello, folks, and welcome to the... I was about to say Friend or Foe Lounge. No, you need to go check that out on the Friend or Foe YouTube page. No, welcome back to day number 1 of week 3 for the Friend or Foe series, season 6. I am Friendly Neighborhood Shoutcaster Sharigan, and I have got Anti joining me on the caster desk today.
Hello. I am right here as always, and right now we've got the recently 2-0 and a kill Teemo Please versus the Indomitable in the trees. Right now, you know, Pinnacle Teemo Please, they're looking to try to make use of their momentum, and in the trees, I don't know, they've just really been that unstoppable force that nobody's been able to get through.
You know, if you don't have a UB to kind of like temper the rest of the teams, I think you're going to end up with an INT taking over the lead in that front. We can see right here from the bans that PTP is very aware of just how powerful Brock Lee is in the mid lane, taking away his Talia and Akali. Getting those off of the board, very important.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, oh my goodness, I'm already super stoked. You've got the Sejuani Renekton combo coming out. You've got the Sivir Zyra that's about to get locked in. This is already looking to be a very explosive game.
Yeah, and PTP have had a very interesting drafting strategy, right? So most teams have been prioritizing the Sivir in draft. Now, PTP has been leaving the Sivir up and counterpicking with the Vayne, which Vayne has a very, very strong matchup into Sivir as far as the laning phase is concerned, right? Because the moment that first tower goes down, Sivir can never side lane. She has to be with a teammate. You cannot ever 1v1 the Vayne. But INT, you know, they're giving over the Sivir. They're saying, you know what, let's take Vayne off of their main and slam that signature Bow Explode Sejuani pick. But this time the Trundle is not banned, and PTP picking that up could spell a few troubles.
It could be. We are going to be seeing the Subjugation coming out. That's going to be a lot of stats being stolen from the Renekton and Sejuani, so that'll be really useful for Gandorfs. We do have the Lulu coming out, though, to kind of counteract the poke that's going to be coming from this Zyra and Sivir. I kind of expect that to be very, very devastating in more ways than one, because once you start getting that Renekton diving into the backline, he's just going to be popping everybody up once Lulu makes him go big. So that's going to be a massive health bar that the PTP is going to have to deal with. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly how they try to counteract it. I'm not really sure what direction they're going to go. And we already see now the Azir and the Ornn being taken away, trying to get Tatas off of that tanky top laner, and we have the Aphelios and Twitch, which are probably 2 ADCs that Vayne is just like, you know what, I don't want to deal with these in lane.
Yeah, and one thing I'll also note is that Renekton is actually a phenomenal flex pick. Right now, we do have the Sylas locked in, presumably for Brock Lee, but I wouldn't be that surprised to see Fish Magish picking that up in the top lane. Sylas also a flexible champion, so it really depends on the matchups that we're going to end up seeing. All we do know for a fact is that PTP have a very lane-dominant bot lane, regardless of what INT can pick in here. And as far as the jungle matchup is concerned, Trundle's very, very good into Sejuani. I mean, Bow Explode has had to play this matchup forever, and it is the Ahri from PTP going to be picked up here, just going to be a very safe mid lane. You know, it seems that they want to really play around that bot lane, and the Alawi hover, we did see today as making use of this Alawi pick to a great effect. In the Cog, oh my lord, we do have a Lulu Cog here. So Renekton Sejuani literally does not have to do anything except be meat shields as long as Cog can continue to auto. This is all your eggs in the Kenny Hammer Spike basket right now. So it does not matter how the other lanes are going as long as they can stay stable enough. And INT's been a very stable team.
They have been an exceptionally stable team, and I think it's going to be really, really dangerous for PTP to let this game go on for just a little bit too long, because that Kog'Maw is going to completely outrange basically every member of PTP and will absolutely shred through the Trundle and Alawi health bars once he starts getting into those couple of those 3 item spikes. It's going to be really difficult for them to deal with. There are 2 healing sources on both, like one on each team, that they're going to have to watch out for. So I do expect Grievous Wounds to be coming out very quickly, because otherwise you're going to have the Sylas and Renekton running rampant and the Trundle and Alawi basically living for eternity during these team fights, which will only go better for both teams technically, because the Sivir DPS and the Cog DPS, it's going to be really interesting to see which one ends up winning out in the end.
One of the real big questions really is how the Alawi is really going to be doing, right? Because if, let's say the Alawi does get ahead, and PTP as a team does not get ahead, then the only real way for for PTP to win these team fights is if they can force INT to run at them. And while Zyra and Alawi are incredibly good at that, actually finding the engages could mean something that's very difficult to find unless Sundara lands those perfect charms.
Perfect charms, you've got the Zyra roots, you've got some really good pillars that you can get from Trundle. There are a couple of outcomes that PTP can be looking for to kind of force those engagements, but you're absolutely right. INT has the much easier to execute team comp, in my opinion. They're going to be the ones who are going to be the most dangerous. We can already see a 5-man death bush kind of like set up right here. It's going to be interesting to see, are PTP able to anticipate it and actually survive the invade? I kind of think Sundara is going to see them before they make any attempts.
Yeah, but either way,
Looks
it's always pretty interesting to see something that's a little bit different from 5-pointing. You know, a lot of teams really seem to just default to this 5-pointing. I will also note, today is not actually 5-pointing properly. If you're in top lane on blue side, you need to be walking into that top river bush. All the same, this is something that happens with a lot of other teams, where if you're a top laner, the top laners tend to be very close to where they should be if they're 5-pointing properly, but, you know, not quite where you need to be. You want to be in that top lane bush, and for the red side, you want to be a little bit outside of that tri-bush.
Right. No, and honestly, the number of times I've played red side and been able to get like a sneaky kind of like with an early aggression Shen, or if you're playing Renekton, get an early stun off in that little river bush right there because top laner wasn't 5-pointing correctly, it can be really, really devastating.
Oh, yeah.
And just set you
absolutely. And one other thing that could also be very devastating. So, Trundle versus Sejuani. Very historically Trundle favored matchup. You know, incredibly strong. Now, one of the ways that Sejuani can deal with it is if Sejuani procs Aftershock, then Trundle uses Subjugate on her. She literally has negative resists as the Aftershock pops off. The thing is, you know, you can counter that with taking Hail of Blades, so that way you don't actually have the Aftershock resist for Trundle to steal. That's something that we've seen Boexplode do a lot in the past, but this time has opted for the Aftershock regardless, saying that, you know what, I don't care that I'm playing into a Trundle, I'm going to need these resists regardless, and I'm just not going to let Gandorf subjugate me.
Yeah, well, they're probably expecting the subjugate anyway, but yeah, they're definitely going for the I want to be the meat shield as Renekton, and then Silas is going to be kind of that middle of the lane area, while Kenny is just going to be in the back, just popping off. Sundara taking a lot of damage. We've got an early gank going on here in the top lane. Alawi does manage to get the Echo out, putting a lot of damage onto Fish McGish, getting him down to half health. Having to run under to the safety of his turret, which just means now he's going to be pestered by tentacles for the next couple of seconds, which is very annoying. It's frustrating having to just like micromanage that.
Yeah, I mean, tentacles are something that, honestly, I think the biggest issue with tentacles is the mental stack that they add to you, not so much as their damage.
There we go. We got Silas jumping right in on top of Sundara. Broccoli getting him brought very, very low, and that is going to be first blood taken over, as the mage in the middle lane is doing a lot of damage. And we got a fight going on here in the top as well, topside river. Boexplode being brought very low. Silas coming in to save their laner, but unfortunately the flash is going to come out, and that means that they're going to get a kill. We do see Broccoli picking up 2, but that is going to be Gandorfs picking up a solo as well.
Yeah, while Gandorfs does manage to pick up the solo, you know, that's when, if you're Broccoli, you just hit all chat, you hit him with the hashtag worth.
Chasing down the Silas in the mid lane, trying to get that
doesn't
target
have flash, though.
No, she doesn't. Broccoli does have the wall to bounce over it, plus the red and blue buff.
Yeah, I mean, as we were noting earlier, right? Yeah, that's one of those times where, while the kill going over to Trundle is quite good for Trundle, you know, you definitely say that one's worth it for your team, right? Because you got a kill and assist. Trundle only got the solo kill. Oh, hold on. Might be looking for another
Trundle
kill right
just
now.
going right in onto Boexplode, trying to force them out of this river, trying to make sure that they're able to get this first Drake relatively easily, and that is going to be river control going over to the side of PTP. Tata's, in the meantime, having to fight off Fish McGish. They're just going in hard on this fight, but kind of overstaying their welcome a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Fish does have the Doran shield, which means that he will be able to continually heal up here. And while Renekton Alawi is something that Renekton can absolutely abuse early, you have to be really careful about getting hit by those tentacle slams. As I've mentioned earlier, it's all about that mental stack. It's all about how much your opponent has to think about in the moment, because you don't really expect your opponent to actually be getting hit by the tentacle slams in the middle of the fights.
No, it's Alawi's damage can be deceptive sometimes, where you're taking way more than you think you are if you're not constantly watching that health bar. And it can just kind of sneak up on you. So with the way things are going, we got a nice root right there on this bot lane, but look at the amount of damage they're able to return in one stun. It's kind of gross. And right here, again, these echoes doing so much to kind of get Fish Magish, trying to force him out of lane. Not quite able to do it. Root in the bottom lane. Kenny brought very, very low, but unfortunately not quite enough for that kill. And Vanel is running out of mana. Does not have the spell shield in order to get it back. We got a dive potentially here. Broccoli looking to force Ahri back under that turret.
Yeah, and Kenny and He Who Slops are actually just opting to stay here. Kenny, once again, just getting continually poked down by the Zyra, did opt for that Doran's Blade, so should be able to heal up a little bit off of this wave, but, you know, the Cog not necessarily enjoying this laning phase so far.
Might not be enjoying the laning phase, but I think Lulu's doing a really good job of keeping them present in the lane for a lot longer. Look at this. We got Tadas, who did get the level 6 advantage, but is not able to press it, as we see Fish choosing to respect that strength that Alawi currently has, not letting themselves get ulted.
Yeah, but look at this right now. You know, INT caught PTP on a recall timer, and they're going to be able to rotate over to Dragon. You know, Kenny just going to continue to pick up farm, not going to lose anything for this at all. The only thing that you miss is maybe a minion or two for Brock Lee, but Syndara has not recognized it yet. And Silas doesn't lose anything for this roam at all.
Nope, doesn't lose anything for that roam. And in all honesty, Kenny didn't even need to walk up to help take that Drake. Just one auto attack was all they needed to give it. Brock Lee once again returning to that mid lane, catching that wave. They're going to be sitting nice on a nice stack of gold. They do have a shutdown, so that's something that they're going to need to be watching out for. Make sure they don't give that up freely. In the meantime, bot lane, Zyra looking for that angle, trying to get Kenny. Kenny, who's been quite greedy, still hasn't backed yet.
Yeah, I mean, you got 41 farm on that cog. Should be a decent amount of gold. Probably looking for a Rage Blade as that first item. Oh, instead going to be opting for the boots and another dagger on top of that. Boots, very, very important in this lane. Interestingly enough, okay, there we go. That was the item I was looking for. The refillable potion is something that's going to be so high value. Because Zyra's poke is so incredibly tough to deal with.
It is very annoying. Very annoying. I don't know about you, but I hate getting stuck by those thorns.
I don't even play bot lane too much, and man, Zyra tilts me.
Right? Well, look at this. We got Gandorfs looking for that side lane angle, trying to think about going in on this. They're basically kind of wasting their time, though, choosing not to go for that tower dive. And unfortunately for Fish Magish, they're able to get that ultimate off, and Tadas does not have the support of his jungler, so they're going to be taken down. Fish turning that around. That was going to be huge. That is going to allow him to get a lot of momentum in this top lane and get a nice big push here, probably getting themselves a plate or two.
Yeah, it was looking so good for Tadas for quite a while, but then you look at that ulti timer and it's not up. Fish just looking for this Herald right now.
Engage, but he's going to get caught by the charm. Having to dash out means that the Herald is going to end up going over. Oh, no, wait, look. Like the rest of INT is here. They are trying to pressure this, trying to force this fight. Bow Explode, looking for the angle. The Bola goes out, but doesn't find a target, but there is that slowed facility. That does mean that there's going to be a lot of damage being dropped into this choke point. The smite comes down. Blue team does manage to steal the Rift Herald, so now we've got the rest of INT sitting on it, but look at that flash having to come out from Bow Explode in order to keep from going down. Lulu, though, is going to be caught out, and that's going to be Bamatide getting a support kill for a support.
Yeah, and that was so good from the side of PTP, going to be able to pull out that smite steal right at the very end here. But in the meantime, Kenny Hammerspike just going to continue to pick up as much farm as possible, as many plates as possible, and you just have to accelerate this Kog'Maw, because that's where all of this gold is going.
Yeah, and you know, it's... honestly, we're kind of seeing the momentum increasing really well. Oh, Vanel accidentally taking a couple of tower shots from the bouncing blades. That is going to be huge, though, as we get the Rift Herald drop onto this mid lane. They're trying to crack it open completely, but unfortunately, it's just way too tanky. They have overstayed their welcome as INT is looking to press his advantage. Bow Explode looking for the engage. does manage to steal Lulu's ultimate, trying to find that target, does manage to go under the tower. They are going to be able to get a little bit of damage off, but not enough to pick up a kill. That was really dicey for PTP, but we are seeing their momentum carry them into this game.
Yeah, great decision-making from PTP to decide to not fully commit to that fight there, because when Sylas has Sivir's ultimate, Sylas's biggest thing is that he's gated by mana and cooldowns. Broccoli had just come off of the fountain, you know, has full mana. Cooldowns, when you have Sivir ultimate, do not exist. They just straight up aren't actually a thing. So fighting Sylas with that ultimate available is so difficult. And great job for PTP for recognizing that.
Very, very much so. I thought he'd grabbed Lulu, so I thought he was looking for that tower dive. But either way, we are seeing Sundara just looking to get those last two auto attacks off. But Bola comes out from Bow Exploders. They're like, no. You stay away from that tower. That's ours. Leave it alone. As they pick themselves up a kill, Broccoli goes on a killing spree. Trundle in the meantime on this bot lane, trying to get on top of Kenny Hammer Spikes. Not quite able to as he gets pushed away by the Lulu. And there it comes, the wild growth keeping Lulu alive. And unfortunately, we see Sundara getting jumped on over the wall. Broccoli going across, and we are seeing the mobility of INT across this map show why they are not out of the fight yet.
Yeah, I mean, they did manage to get 4 plates in the mid lane for PTP, but INT's got 4 kills on that mid laner, and that Sylas does scale quite a bit.
Yeah, it scales and scales very quickly and is very powerful. And unfortunately, as we were talking before, where it's like across this map, where you were saying how PTP needs to make sure that the rest of the team is doing really, really well in order to allow those fights to engage. Alawi is kind of falling behind, and PTP is slowly losing ground of course of this game. Poor He Who Slops getting caught out, takes a decent amount of damage, but that is unfortunate where you're just kind of getting hit over the wall. Not much you can really do there.
Yeah, you know, just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Sometimes the only real answer is to not be there in the first place. But either way, the rest of the team is going to continue to pick up gold, going to get some resets. Bow Explode still looking for a little bit more gold in order to be able to fully afford that Sunfire Aegis. Fish Magish, on the other hand,
going in on this large fight against the Alawi, taking a lot of damage from the Echo. That's about a quarter of their health bar, so they're starting to get a little bit tanky now. We do see, though, Tatas did drop the ultimate now in order to force that fight away.
Yeah, I mean, Fish Magish, though. They could, but one thing to note, really, is Fish is playing this lane so incredibly well. Is going in, baiting out the ultimate, and going out. You know, there's no sort of commitment from Fish unless he knows he can get the kill.
Broccoli getting caught out just a smidgen, wasn't quite able to find the Ahri.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, like, I don't know. It's honestly going to be really difficult to see what PTP can do to get the lead here, but oh my lord.
Dash Bola means Ahri's not going to go anywhere, just get completely shredded instantaneously. We have Sylas trying to get away from there, does get ignited, so their healing's not going to be popping off. We do see the shutdown, but it's going to go over to the support. Unfortunately for PTP, not necessarily the character they want, but that's going to be a lot of damage coming out right here onto the Renekton as the Echoes once again doing a decent chunk. But that is just going to be the Sylas caught out, and it's going to be a trade of 1-to-1 for the Sundara.
Yeah, I mean, Tadeas did end up, you know, committing that teleport, though, and Alawi didn't actually get too much from it. Meanwhile, Fish just managed to get that roam down, managed to be able to help out with that fight. It was large shutdown, don't get me wrong, but as far as top lane goes, Fish Magish is in such a good position on this Renekton. And by picking up the Bork in just a bit, should be able to absolutely run over this lane and has full flexibility to go into either Prowler's Claw or Sunfire Aegis.
You know, it's really funny that this this mid lane turret is still standing. Like, the fact that INT have managed to hold on to this, they've been using a really good job of forcing fights around the mid lane because they know just how hungry PTP is to take that down to get themselves that little bit of extra global gold. And they're just like, no, let's wait for it, hold off, and then we're going to go in once they try to take it.
I mean, it's really impressive the fact that INT has been able to hold on to this past the 14-minute mark. You know, they're not going to get all 5 plates on that tower. Meanwhile, Broccoli has been getting continually more and more fed. Sitting on a
I
ward,
feel really
does not
bad for
know,
Broccoli as
but
they are pincered between 3 members. But look at that. The mobility of this champion, able to just dash away, rooting the targets as they're trying to run into him, just barely avoiding the charm, using the Ahri ultimate to re-engage, trying to find something, but not quite able to. Very well played by Broccoli, and that is why mechanics are so important.
yeah, I mean, Broccoli and the rest of INT have had incredible mechanics, but I will also note their macro play has been so good. Look at this game. We've barely seen Kenny Hammer spike.
We got a huge fight going over by Rift Herald. Massive Alawi ultimate is just absolutely slapping as we see Alawi picking up the double kill. Fishfish McGish being brought so low. Looks like they were subjugated by the Trundle. They're getting chopped away. Tata's just absolutely cleaning it up. The echo damage is going to come out. We are seeing Fish try to get away. Barely going for their lives, are going to get eaten by the Trundle. Does mean that this is going to be a free Rift Herald. Mid lane turret did go down, and so let's kind of like back up and take a look at this fight. Just, oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that we haven't been looking too much at Kenny Hammerspike, but right now, Kenny Hammerspike's not in this fight. Vanal's allowed to free hit for so long, pops the ultimate, allowed to kite around Fish McGish, but walks a little bit too close. And Fish does everything it is that he can. But with Gandorf's on the wing, no second blast cone, there's no chance that this Croc gets out.
All right, so with the way things are currently shaping up, Anti, how do you think this game is going to start going here? Once we see this second Rift Herald taken, we're going to probably see at least another couple of towers go down. But it's just going to... I think INT is actually being put on the back foot.
Yeah, I mean, we saw this against Cloud9 as well, though. INT's biggest thing is that their macro game is so incredibly strong. Even if they are getting behind in this early, PTP have to find a way how to close this out. Now, that second Rift Herald will be able to do quite a bit. It is lower value than the first Rift Herald simply because there's no plates on the map, but, being able to plop down that Rift Herald against a team with relatively minimal wave clear is so high value.
Yeah, but minimal wave clear is not something that this this INT team has. They're going to be doing all right clearing those waves, in my opinion, but we'll have to see. We do see right now that it looks like the Sylas is about to get pincered. Oh, no, the Ahri's going to back off. So they are going to be pushing in this bot wave. We are seeing a lot of priority being placed around this Infernal Drake. The Infernal Soul, so important for both of these teams. Both Sivir and Kog'Maw want to have that auto attack damage.
Yeah, and it seems that INT are looking to not actually fully contest this one. Yes, their Kog'Maw does have the Rage Blade fully completed. Yes, they do have the Scuttle control, but they don't have any teleport on the side of Fish McGish. So unless they're looking to bring that Renekton down and delay this dragon for another, minute, 30 seconds, it's going to be very difficult for them to contest, and they're not going to do it.
Yeah, smart play on the side of INT. Bow Explode might be looking for this Might Steal.
Yeah, a little bit interesting, and I'd honestly say a little bit of a mistake here, as today is going to be able to control
looks like they are going to be
choke point so well.
That's going to be absolutely disgusting because we have the Alawi ultimate smacking them. That is going to be a couple of kills given over to PTP for absolutely free, as the dragon's going to go down. They take that out, and Bow Explode overstepping as well, getting caught, not able to jump over the wall, means they're having to use the Ahri ultimate to try and escape. Bouncing around between all these members, does manage to finally get out of there. Lulu flashing for the wall to make sure they're able to shield their target. Kenny just peppering them with these auto attacks, able to pick up a revenge kill, taking down Bamatide. But unfortunately, looks like they, again, INT overstaying their welcome a little bit and kind of overpressing their advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking so good for PTP for a little bit. They managed to kill Bow. They do a phenomenal dragon take. They're able to make sure the enemy jungler doesn't have a chance to steal it. In the meantime, Fish McGish just going to continue push down that top lane.
In terms of macro, that did allow Fish to have a lot of time to get a massive push top wave. So by keeping them there in that pit, does basically bring down the tier 2 turret to just like an armor stack of health. So that could, in theory, you could consider that a not exactly even trade, but not necessarily the biggest loss in the world.
Yeah, I would consider it actually relatively even. It was honestly relatively solid because on the side of INT, you know, you managed to nab 2 kills. You didn't get the dragon, but you also managed to dump a huge amount of waves in. But oh my god.
A nice pillar that keeps Boexplode from being able to actually engage. Bamatide getting a huge Zyra ultimate, that those vines just keeping them from being able to do anything. But look at this Hammer Spike just absolutely blasting them with artillery, getting a double kill. That is going to be a triple kill as they take out the Sivir as well with the artillery from the sky. And that is just going to be why you have to be afraid of a Cog Lulu combo.
Yeah, and I was talking about dumping the waves in top lane, but Boexplode able to dump that ulti directly on top of Bamatide. Kenny Hammer Spike left untouched as Gandorf's just focusing way too hard on the subjugated Sejuani. But right now, Vayne just wasn't able to auto-attack nearly enough to make a difference, and Kenny's 5-0. This Kog'Maw needed to be accelerated 5 minutes ago, but man, they've caught up so quickly.
This is why you have him pushing in those solo lanes by himself, getting him that extra XP, that extra gold, and it's just allowed him to start picking himself up so very well. If we look at the way he and this Lulu or the Sivir are shaping up, the Cog Lulu combo is just absolutely disgusting with how quickly he can put out damage.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
All right, so next objective we got coming up now. Baron's going to be spawning here in the next couple of seconds. We are seeing Fish McGish kind of pushing a little bit too hard on this tower. Does manage to actually take it down. The objective bounties are going to be coming up soon. Fish going to give their life as they just try to stall this out as long as possible, giving over a massive shutdown, though, in the process to Tatas, so that kind of evens up their lane a little bit. But we are seeing that there is now no turrets left in the top lane. Basically, only tier 2 turrets left in the mid and bot lane as well. And that is just going very, very well, as we can see only 1 turret has been taken by PTP.
Yeah, I mean, while Fish McGish was doing something... Oh, hold on.
Ooh, massive Bola. Doesn't quite find Sundara, though.
Yeah, not quite, but... You know, it's great that INT are still looking for something. And, you know, I will note, what Fish McGish was doing there was a little bit of overextending because, you know, didn't have vision, but was able to deny so much more farm away from today, as today is still down around 20 farm with how, even with how long Fish McGish has been staying in these side lanes. It's going to be so hard for this Alawi to catch up, down 1,500 gold on their opponent.
Yeah, this Alawi pick has been, it's a little bit of an interesting one just because of the nature of the team comp that we've got for the side of PTP. I think they wanted to duel Renekton in this top lane, weren't quite able to do it though. So that means that they were not able to get themselves ahead quite as quickly as they wanted. So it looks like it's kind of getting to a point where it does very well in these team fights when everybody's locked down by the Zyra ultimate, but it might be hurting them in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I think that PTP needs to start playing around the dragon. I mean, you've already got 2 of them. You know, a third one definitely couldn't hurt. And you have so much zone control. You have the Zyra, you have the Alawi, you have the Trundle. It's going to be very difficult for the side of INT to walk into you, and you have to have some kind of win condition.
And we've got, I'm not exactly sure what PTP's win condition is. INT's just got so much pressure across this map that PTP really needs to get a good team fight, get some of these objective bounties so that they can kind of take those towers down and get those extra items, that extra money in their pocket. But they're just having to deal with so much vision control that INT has that they're able to basically have complete control of the Dragon Pit. Look at this. Tata's being completely shredded by Kog'Maw, not even able to respond.
Yeah, and Kenny's
and
doing
the fight
so much work.
Goes over the wall, does actually manage to find Sundara, locking them in place. They are going to go gold and staying alive. Boexplode going to get pushed away by a pillar, so the fight's going to have to disengage. But look at that. Unfortunately, Sundara misses the Averfrost, does get over the wall. We see Fish McGish, though, looking for that backdoor engage, not quite able to find it. We see the rest of the team deciding to back off, be like, it's fine. We're just going to go secure this Drake because that is going to be some denied gold and some nice bit of damage in our pocket. You know, the Hextech Drake plus 3 Infernals is a really nice bit of ability cooldown and damage. Just the thing that INT needs.
Broccoli
jumping in underneath this tower. Okay, lots of damage coming out onto Sundara. Not enough to finish him off, but he's just got no fear.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying it's quite a bit of damage, and Broccoli's already doing quite a bit of damage. You know, was 5-0 earlier, not going to be able to pick up more kills, but instead gifting them all over to the Cog. But right now, speaking of gifts, seems like Gandorf's got a gift for Fish Magish right now.
Yeah, he's about to do a lot of damage to the Fish Magish, taking away a lot of that health bar with that Subjugate and the Pillar. We've got that Frozen Zone as well. And look at this. We got basically a 3-man gank in the top lanes. They just want to finish off this tower and be like, no, 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 no. Get away, Crocodile Man. You ain't getting this. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves this tower. Get themselves some extra gold. Lulu is there to support Fish if the need arises, though.
And on the other side of the map, today is just looking to pick up another one of those outer towers. And these outer towers are so high value for PTP here. Allows you to get so much more vision on the map available. And having those objective bounties on top of it is so good.
The objective bounties are very useful when it comes to coming back from behind, as they are a great comeback mechanic. But look at that, Kenny, the disrespect, taking away that blue buff as we see an engage coming out from INT as they have caught poor members of PTP in the jungle, which is exactly what trees are used for. Look at that, we got the charm coming out, pulling the Silas even closer to the Ahri, but unfortunately not able to quite find it. Tata's going in on the backline, finding Bow Explode, not able to get the ultimate off, means they're going to go down before they have a chance, and that is going to be Trundle getting absolutely shredded. Gandorf's not able to get away. Almost walks into the Kenny Hammerspike's artillery shot, but that is going to be a surviving Trundle. This could be a very easy Baron call for the rest of INT. You've got Bow Explode ready to tank this thing up, and Broccoli and Kenny are going to be able to just pepper so much damage onto this poor Baron. It's not going to last very long. Fish pushing the advantage as well, taking out that mid lane turret.
Yeah, and Fish just going to continue to get that wave shoved in, making sure that there is no chance for the side of PTP to get anything while INT are taking this Baron. But right now, might have overstayed his welcome a little bit. Has the slice, does not have the dice. Question of whether or not this Croc gets to walk on out, as Gandorf's trying to keep him there as long as possible.
Able to. I think he's going to be just fine. We do have the members of INT looking for this hard re-engage. The unfortunate charm goes completely wide, just like the Bola, but that's going to be a nice bit of stun coming out as Renekton dives in on top of Trundle, does manage to take out Ganondorf. Kenny Hammerspike once again is going godlike. Broccoli on the backline going golden, like the god that he is. Sejuani dropping on top of Vanal. Vanal's going down, and that is going to be more artillery shots just absolutely peppering. Pentakill, Teemo, please. It doesn't even matter. We're not going to see the Pentakill come out, but this Baron Siege is just going to mean the absolute destruction of PTP's base.
Yeah, and Kenny Hammerspike has not died not only 0 times this game, 0 times from this game and the last one. This Kog'Maw, which was playing Vayne the last time we saw him, has been doing so much work. 9-0-1, 3 items available. Still not even close to grabbing that Mythic, but outputting so much damage. Does it really matter?
It really doesn't. And the thing is you say that they've only got 3 items. They haven't backed to spend the money they just got from these fights.
Yeah,
and that is going to be a nice
2,300 gold in the pocket here. Going to be the full on Frostfire Gauntlet. In fact, going to opt for that a little bit earlier than you might be expecting from the Kog'Maw. But when you're this fed on Cog, it's totally acceptable.
Absolutely. You're basically full build at this point. I don't think he's going to have enough time to finish off the rest of his items with that Doran's Blade in his pocket. I mean, you could get rid of it to get yourself a Vision Ward, but it's not like he's going to need it with how much damage he's going to be putting out. He's just Tank Maw now and just going to be absolutely wrecking it. We've got an ARAM push coming out from the side of INT. Full health bars ready to go. Gandorf's is just like, oh no, here it comes. Bola's coming out. Not able to find the target, though, means that he's going to survive for a couple more seconds as we see Renekton pushing in from the top lane as they've got to match that push. We've got Silas pushing in the bot lane. It is just an all-out shove coming out from INT. Look at this. There's no damage coming out from Alawi. Alawi dropping the ultimate onto the solo Fish Magish. Fish is going to have to walk away, though, taking so much damage from the slaps. That is going to be devastating. But look at that. The damage. The healing coming out. There is nothing that poor Alawi can do. They have no heal cut to keep Fish from healing that away.
Yeah, I mean, it's so difficult to play into either of these champions without heal cut available, and Tadeas is just too far behind to be the one building it. Maybe Bomatide might be able to pick some of it up on that Zyra, but PTP are in so much trouble right now. it feels like we're basically sitting on the very end of the game.
We are sitting on the end of the game, as we can see right now. Ganondorf is going in for that engage, and we got a nice jump in on INT as they just shove everything into this. They're jumping on top of all of the members of PTP, trying to find those targets. We do see Zyra finally going down, getting absolutely peppered by the artillery shots from the Tank Maw, and that is just going to be the final turrets in this base going down. Alawi trying to find something, trying to go out, but they're going to catch a bullet in the face and get frozen in. There's nothing they can do. The Nexus is gone.
Another day and another deathless game for Kenny Hammerspike. How long will this team be this completely immovable object?
That was devastating. There is a reason redwoods grow so dang tall. It's because they just stick around for a really long time. And we are seeing that right now in the trees, picking up yet another win. I do not know who's going to be able to stop them. They have just got, there's so much. They have become the absolute heel of this tournament. Well, so, you know, with that, it's kind of like, I don't know really where else to go. Like, we saw PTP putting up one hell of a fight, doing what they can. And with that, folks, we're going to take a quick break, be right back, and we'll have an interview with our winners.
Hello everyone, welcome back. I know it's been much awaited, but we are here at week 3, day 1 of the Heroic League. We've finished our first game here, where INT took on PTP. It looks like the PTP had a lot of steam, but INT has gone ahead and shut them down, keeping their train rolling, going 5-0 with that commanding victory. And I have here joined with me the mid laner, usually top, Broccoli900. How are you feeling today, Broccoli?
I'm feeling pretty good, Good.
I'm glad to hear that, my friend. So, I mean, you know, let's take a look at this game. You know, we had some pretty interesting things happen in draft. The first thing I want to note is that they're finally listening to your guys' trash talk and not allowing He Who Slops to get Zillion. So
yeah.
Just stay on that. So just kind of my first question is, you know, is that the little cog something y'all wanting to play? And then secondly, they listened to that advice, but then they gave you Sejuani. So what's your team's reaction to that and how draft went for y'all?
I mean, I'm assuming they're okay with giving Sejuani because they want to pick Trundle into it. And yeah, like that's, on paper, I think that's fine. But I think Bo is just really good on the Sejuani anyways. He knows how to like work around it. And us as a team, we just play better with it anyways. So even if they pick Trundle to shut it down, like it's fine. As long as we get the Sejuani, it's our power pick. And also, like the Lulu Cog, it's just something that Kenny Hammerspike and Hugh Slops are pretty comfortable on. If people remember, back in the past seasons that we played, we did like funnel comp with Kenny on the cog, so it's just a power pick for them too. And they're just really good with all the hyper carries, so.
Yeah, I mean, y'all executed perfectly, and you know, kind of like looking at the early game, I think there's maybe a little bit of a slippery thing at first, but like ultimately, I think y'all played it very well in the fact that you know, you didn't like overcommit for dragons and stuff. You actually, I think, were able to punish PTP a little bit on the overstep there, but like you also didn't move Cog too early, you didn't make him commit to something too strong, and then like really just kind of like popped off mid game. So I guess like my question is like when you're all like setting up like before like maybe the game starts or as it's developing, like what are comms like when you're identifying like win conditions to like make those type of decisions as a team?
Well, our columns aren't actually like that clean in our pregame plan. Like we don't have a super clear pregame plan. Like we have an idea of what we want to do, but if there's like an objective coming up, we always just ask like, do we want to contest this, and are we able to contest this? And a lot of the times we think we're confident in our abilities to actually fight it. That's why you saw it in this game, we kind of ran it down in the Herald fights because it was basically 4v5, but it's like overall it was fine because Kenny was just sitting bot, he's scaling up, and he became a monster in the late game. So
yeah, I think those are things that we all got to witness here, which is always a treat to see. And you know, I kind of want to take like a moment here, you know, since I have you here at the desk, which is fantastic. Let's talk a bit about like the dynamic of having you in the mid as opposed to, you know, Evolved. You know, it seems like you play one, very different champions, and two, I think you're a bit of a risk taker. I think you like the thrill of like getting out of turret dives at 30 HP. So tell me what it's like in your head with your piloting and how that kind of changes for INT overall.
I mean, I just think that I'm more willing to play different types of champions in the mid lane. I don't really play like the super control mage like carry mid lanes like Evolve does. I think he's really good at what he does on those champions if he's having a good game. I just think that I'm able to be a more stable mid laner, and I can just play a pick that provides what my team needs depending on how the draft goes and whatnot. So.
Right on. I appreciate that insight there. And you know, looking at your match tomorrow, your team's going to be going against RLS, the team closest to you guys in score. You know, there's a lot going on. Like, how are you feeling going into that match? Like, what's your preparation looking like, and are you nervous at all?
I mean, on one side, I am kind of nervous because they are like the quote-unquote second best team because of their standing. But at the same time, looking at their games, like their games haven't been like super clean. Like I feel like half the games that they won could have been losses just because it was just a bloodbath and they were able to get the win, barely get the win at the end. So, I mean, we're not gonna underestimate them, but we're still gonna fully prep for them. But I think we'll still take it in the end. So.
Nice. I'm glad to get that insight from you. And you can also check out Warlier's insight if you want to go ahead and read the FOF Connect there. There's plenty of good things in there, but you can also kind of see the meme he drew up there. It was hilarious. Brock, I got one more question for you. Coming into the next game, it's going to be Art of War versus Team Wet. How do you think that match is going to go? Who's going to win?
If Wet has been leveling up, like I saw them level up last week, then I think they could possibly take it, but all is still definitely the favorites. So.
Perfect. Well, thanks for your time, Broccoli. I appreciate your insight and taking the time to be with us here today. No one go away. We'll be right back with Awe versus Wet in just about 10 minutes. Go ahead and read the Connect. Go ahead and watch the new Lounge episode that just dropped, and we'll be right back before you know it.